You didn't react good enough to Ola over there, by the way. Brazil, you've let me down. Hi. All right, do you want me to, before I go on, address the elephant in the room? Do you want me to explain the man bun now or at the end? Now? My wife loves it. End of story. There's no further explanation needed nor wanted. She has to look at this. I'm also Canadian. Two people. Two people said woo, the rest of you paused, which says so much. My parents, by the way, are here. That's who clapped. I am so ecstatic to be here. My world is unbranding, unmarketing, unselling, but instead of using that to get credibility from you, I want to give you the credibility of why I'm speaking here today is because I frickin' love convenience stores. Now, you may think I say this to all the audiences, and I do, but no, seriously, I love convenience stores. How much do I love convenience stores? I used to work at one. When I was 18 and exploitable, I worked at a gas station convenience store. I'm sorry, but that was supposed to stay here. I worked at a gas station in one of those really small spots. I can't remember what one. It's like just a little kiosk. We used to call them, I don't know if the industry term, we used to call them like murder boxes. I don't know if I'm using the right verbiage here. A box where you'll get murdered potentially is what. There was 3 things in this box: cigarettes, cash, and me. One of those is expendable. Oh, I'm sorry, there was Twinkies as well. So there was 4 things, one of which was expendable. So I'm serious though. I love convenience stores. If you don't believe me, I have proof, okay? I travel around the world doing this. I do 60, 70 keynotes a year. This is all I do for a living. What I'm trying to tell you is I don't have like a job. That's a full stop right there. I have nothing further after that sentence. And I travel the world, and it's incredible I get to do this. And I get to go, I was just in Germany, I was in Istanbul, and instead of going to the Grand Bazaar or the spice market in Istanbul, I went to the convenience store and freaked out. And my wife's like, you want to go see history? Look at the Lay's chips. They're a different flavor. It's so cool, which is amazing. So I go around and I send pictures to my wife in convenience stores. I think this was in Texas. I don't know. It's all a blur now. I'm just so excited to be there. That woman behind me in the background of that picture, not impressed I was taking a photo, by the way. This is me in front of Buc-ee's in Texas. That is me literally screaming. I'm so excited to be there. I rented a car to drive to Buc-ee's. I'm going to say that again. I rented a car to go to a gas station. How many of you have done that? I am a psycho for these places. Look out, if you look way at the back there, you see those in the very back? Normal places have ice in front of the store, and they have some wood maybe in the colder parts. They have some oil, right? Those are barbecues. They have 14 barbecues for impulse purchases. Like, okay, so she said I should pick up ice, I should pick up oil, and a smoker, right? Just put that into the truck. That's how it works. So I was so ecstatic to be there. I'm finding wrap chips. We got Fetty Wap and Little Yachty. I know, right? Would you not take a photo of these? So I took a picture and I put them back and I didn't buy them. So which is, you love me now, right? That's how this works. It blows my mind, these products are the mozzarella marinara chips. I'm in Germany. This is a pack of bum-bums for 2. You know what it is? I don't know, but I bought them. Do I have to say a word? I'm not sure how that's being translated, my Brazilian friends. What's the word in your country for inappropriate? Like that's, but I told the people running the event, if it's in the store, I can show it. So I bought them. And I ate them. It comes in a pack of 6, by the way. I still don't feel well. Let's move on. So one of the things that I talk about is things like unbranding and unselling and unmarketing. And why we use the term is because it makes it sense because it's not what we do, what we think we are. It's not the logo. It's the story that the logo tells. And it's not the story you tell. Logos are very simple, okay? Logos are a very simple concept. Branding is actually a very simple concept. Okay, so when you see a brand, when you see a logo somewhere, and it pops in your head, psychologists say we do 2 things, okay? We think of the most recent experience with the brand or one we've heard, and the most extreme experience with the brand or one we've heard. Okay, so whatever you think of a brand, you're right. Whatever you thought about me when I walked on stage, you're right. Depending on what you thought. No, but you're right. What word came to mind when I jumped on stage, when I walked out here? Other than you thought I was the sound guy. Shout out to my sound guys, by the way. Props to my crew. Give them a round of applause for the crew. They can make me sound horrible right now, so be nice. Be nice for them. So shout out a word. Give me a word you thought when I walked out here. Go ahead. Rockstar. Thank you. Man-bun. That's very literal, ma'am. It's like yelling pants. Like it's yeah, I know. Somebody said hipster, which is a very kind way to say you think I'm high right now. So thank you. It is legal. By the way, I was walking here for my sound check, and I looked at the breakout room. I talked about marijuana sales. It was full. I'm not saying you guys have preferences, but I'm saying you have preferences. So, but the point is, whatever you thought, you're right. That's it. You're right. So now my job is either to take that bias, which is what an assumption is, and escalate it right now, or get rid of it. And that's my job. And it can change in a blink of an eye. Legacy brands can change in a blink of an eye. And the bigger the legacy, the bigger the company, the less people think in the company that can change, which is the farthest from the truth. Give me some iconic brands to you that have changed in the past 6 months to a year in your mind. Shout it out. Uber? GE? Nike? Yes? Facebook? America? I'm not joking. Has the brand of America, yeah, you think a Canadian's gonna come off here and start ripping America? No, I'm saying, yeah, you're gonna fight me. What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is that has the brand of America changed over the past 2 years internally and to the world? Yeah, I'm not saying right or I'm saying yes or no. Yes, it has. If your country's brand can change, do you think your store brand can change because of an experience? That's the difference. That's how it works. If you pull up the slide again here for me, if you put the Ritz-Carlton, when we see the logo, what word comes to mind when that logo comes up? Shout it out. Service, luxury, expensive. Exactly, yeah. Right? Not one person said hotel, which is weird. And not one of you said severed lion's head impaled on a crown. Look at it. It's a violent logo. So when I see it, I think of 2 things. Like I said, the most recent experience I've had, which was 2 weeks ago, and I stayed at one, and it was awesome. And I think of Joshi. Joshi's a giraffe, and a poorly stuffed one at that. He was left at the Ritz-Carlton Resort in Amelia Island in Florida by a child, and they flew home, realizing they forgot Joshi. What happens when your kid loses their favorite thing? Right? Do you hear that low-grade mumbling right now? Those are parents in the room. How many of you have kids that you know about? That you'd stake claim to in a court of law at any given time? So Allison and I have 5 kids. Help. The youngest 3 are hers, the oldest 2 are mine. We had a merger a few years back. It was more of a hostile takeover, really. We had to let a few kids go. We had some redundancies. To tighten up our head count. We're a more efficient family now, a more leaner family, and frankly, a more profitable family at this point. And the existing kids that are still there are just happy to still be on the team. So you know what happens, right? Your day is done. Anybody within a mile radius, their day is done. So the father did what any good father would do in this scenario, and he lied to his son, and he said that Joshy was on an extended vacation. Which is a good idea, Dad, except now you got to find him or learn how to sew. So he calls up the Ritz-Carlton, and he begs, and he pleads, and he prays that they found him. And they did. He was in the laundry. They found him in the laundromat, rolled up in the sheets. If you ever lose something in a hotel room, check the sheets. If you get lost in a hotel room, check the sheets. You're usually in there. Not only did they find him, and they brought him up, and the person working in the laundry brought him up to the front desk and said, somebody is missing this. And not only did they find him, and not only did they overnight him back home to the awaiting child at no charge to the family, but they also sent back photos of his extended vacation. Yeah, those are cucumbers on his eyes, by the way. Is Joshy enjoying the spa? Joshy by the pool? Joshy meeting new friends at the bar? That dolphin is inappropriate. Tonight, when you're enjoying a Vegas beverage with your fellow convenience store industry friends, and you're standing in a circle, and you can't spot the inappropriate dolphin, you're the inappropriate dolphin. And trust me, this is Vegas. There's a whole bunch of dolphins here. This is Joshy working loss prevention. And now that he has to pay, because he has to pay for his stay, because he has to work off the hours, he's officially an employee, so they gave him a laminated ID badge. If you didn't say "aw" just now, you're what's known in the business as a psychopath. Full of wrongness and no emotion whatsoever. They took Joshy, a letter from the general manager, and the photos and the ID badge, and overnighted it back to the awaiting child. When I show you the Ritz-Carlton badge, give me a word that comes to mind. Awesome. Joshy. Hotel. Don't be a smartass. Right? It's caring. So do you see how your view of a brand can change from a story? A story that didn't happen to you? A story that didn't happen to me. I read about it in a blog post that a friend of mine shared on Facebook. Okay, this is how we all want word of mouth, but we fail to do the one thing that makes it happen, which is doing things worth talking about. That's it. I just gave you an MBA. You're done. Go home. Go to the trade show first, but go home. You see the issue? We all want, what do you think the father did when he got the package? Other than change his pants, what did he do? What did he do? What would you do? He'd tell everybody, right? He told his neighbors, he told his friends, he told his family, he blogged about it, which is how I read it. I need something more relatable to your business. He faxed it to people. Is that too raw? Too close to hit a nerve? Stop faxing. It's 2018. I once had a realtor send me a contract, an email. He said, can you just fax this back to me and sign it? I'm like, no problem, 1984, let's do this. And I digitally signed it on my phone, because it was 2016 then, and I sent it back in a PDF. He's like, thanks, Scott, I'm sorry, I can't accept this. You have to fax it. Do you want me to explain fax technology to you, how it works? Like, the original doesn't go through. I'm not going to explain it. I'm not going to explain how this works. But the point is, he told everybody. But my favorite part of this story isn't even the story. It's the authors of the story. It was the front desk clerk and a hotel laundry worker. It wasn't the VP of marketing that was the author of one of the most told stories about the Ritz-Carlton ever. You know why I know that? Because I tell it. That was a joke. You're supposed to laugh at that because forget it. But the point is, I tell this story everywhere, and it was the front line that did it. You want to improve your bottom line? You improve the front line. That's how this works. They are the conductors of the experience. Joe was mentioning his open about the experience. They are the ones doing it. And I tell this story every talk I give. Why? Because it's freaking awesome. That's why. I tell it everywhere I go. It's the opening story in our book of Unselling that's been read by tens of thousands of people. I've told this to over 100,000 people. How much does this cost the Ritz-Carlton every time I tell it? How much? $5,000, yes. Sponsorship agreement. I'm kidding. It's not $5,000. $7,000. It's free, right? That's the whole point. When we evoke emotion, we spread emotion. Think about what you've shared with friends here on Facebook. It's an emotion that's been evoked. And when that happens, we want to share that emotion. That's how it works. But my favorite part of this story is it was a front desk clerk, right? I told you, and the laundry person, that they changed an animal from a lion to a giraffe. Like I said, it wasn't the VP of marketing. It wasn't Sir Ritz-Carlton himself, who does not exist, by the way, who's not a real person. The point is, these people, the lowest paid and usually the lowest appreciated, were the ones that made the biggest impact. Those with the most touch points to your customers are the biggest brand impactors. And the Ritz-Carlton believes this so much, they call them the ladies and gentlemen of the Ritz-Carlton. That's their name for them. They authorize each employee up to $2,000 per guest, per incident, to either make right or delight. Now, I don't mean they're walking around with a fat stack of cash making it rain on people, although that would be amazing. I would stay there even more if that was the case. But they have the ability, the autonomy, to make something right on the spot. When somebody comes to you with a problem, they're like, I will take care of this. And it's shocking. You ever had great service? You know how shocking that is? You're like, what's wrong? Are you high? Like, why are you helping me so much? You know, to be great at service, you only have to be just moderately okay because everybody else sucks. That should be the slogan next year. Like, reach for reach for the middle. It shouldn't be compete. It should just say competent. I played that really well. I was just on the spot right there. With next year, you should have like an eagle hitting the side of a mountain. Like he tried. And that's all we can ask. Great service is disarming. We don't know what to do with ourselves because we don't expect it. That's the point. That's the point. Out of the $2,000 they authorize per guest, per incident, per employee, how much do you think on average over the past 5 years it's cost the Ritz-Carlton at an average of $389 per night and the average stay of 3 nights? How much do you think it's cost them of $2,000? $76. Am I telling you to authorize your employees up to $2,000 per guest? No, I am not. But how about 20? I don't know, $5? Something. to allow them to say, I can make this right now. Yeah, but Scott, I don't trust my employees. Then why do they work for you? If you don't trust your employees, you don't have a problem-solving problem, you have a hiring problem. We have to trust them fully with their business. They are our business. It's how it works. But our business has changed, and we need to know that this should be up at all of your stores. Maybe not this, it's creepy, but something like this. They need to know. Every interaction, every time somebody walks in, that's branding. Every time they walk out, branding. Everything has to do with the brand. But this brand gets blurred nowadays. We have all these places now. I find this overwhelming, and I told you, I'm unemployed. I have all the time in the world to use these sites, and I can't keep up. I can't imagine you. Right? I have 187,000 followers on Twitter. I've tweeted over 110,000 times. We have 65,000 people on our Facebook page. I have 14,000 connections on LinkedIn. I only know 3 people in real life. The point is, I know this stuff. I live this stuff. If it wasn't for Justin Bieber, I'd be the most popular Canadian on Twitter. So I know these things. I know how they work. And the issue is that people feel like, well, we have to be on these sites, Scott, because the millennials are coming. The millennials are coming, and we need to do something. We need to change up something. We need to fix something, okay? We don't even know what millennials means, okay? We just say the word to use for everything. When we're angry at something, we just say millennials. Right? Like you go to the lunch buffet and there's kale. You're like, millennials. Back in my day, we had no kale. Right? This is the problem. I need to explain this to you, okay? Millennials actually are between the ages of about 19 and 37. Okay? Who in this room is between 19 and 37? Hands up. Oh, God, you're here. Okay. I thought it would be fellow old people. Okay. So I need to make this very clear. You can put my face on the screen. I need to make it very clear to you right now so everybody can see it. Or don't. That's cool. It's probably for the best. So thank you. Hi. Millennials in this room, listen very carefully. I'm going to explain what us older people mean when we say the word millennials. When we say the word millennials, working with you, hiring you, selling to you, what we mean is people younger than us, and we don't like you. Full stop. There's nothing after that sentence. There's no however, there's no but. It's not you, it's you. Oh, it's you. The only time we see our kids at home is when the Wi-Fi goes down. Right? They all come out of their rooms in unison. Is the Wi-Fi down? Dad! You here? Is he away? And who am I kidding? I'm the one coming out of the room. Children, is the Wi-Fi down? Can somebody reset the doohickey? I want to use the chap snat. 30% of the audience got the chap snat joke. All right. The rest of you, not a thing. Don't download it. Right? And the kids walk up. I'm like, who are you? Oh, you're one of my kids. You do not look like your profile picture. Should probably update that thing. But the point is they freak out, and then they get furious. They lose their mind. They get so stressed when the Wi-Fi goes down because they can't stream their Spotify playlist. Do you have any idea how we used to make a playlist in our day? And for those that need me to translate, play, record, pause on the stereo. If the DJ would shut up for a second, because I think this is Salt and Pepper Push It, and that's my jam. And you all hear is, push it. You're like, yes! And you take the pause off, you're like, everybody be quiet! And you record it, and you record 7 songs on the tape, and then you flip it over, you record 7 more songs, and you put it in your car, and you listen to it for 11 years. And then our kids lose their mind when their phone dies. Have you ever had a mixtape die? Cruising down the street, you're like, ooh, baby, baby. Take it out, and you take it out, and it's a spider web of tape. You're like, somebody get me a pencil. And if you got the pencil joke, we just became best friends. And if you didn't, get out. But what it's done is millennials have done something I never thought would happen. It has bonded together 2 groups of people I never thought would align with each other. Gen Xers and Boomers. We have formed together to form this always tired Voltron thing with like a sore hip. We just have lack of energy, but we're together, kind of. I'll give you an example. Gen X, where are you at in the room? Go ahead. You see that? Just moderately tired. Yeah. Boomers, where are you? Huh? Drunk. Yep. Every time. Every time. Millennials. So much energy. It'll go away. You know that, right? It'll slowly erode. Then you realize you're on a couch for 4 days. I have no idea how you got there. That's how it happens. But Xers, by the way, if I see you at the trade show after, because I'll be walking that damn trade show, when I see you out there, just flash me the universal Gen X sign so I know it's you. It's right here. Okay, it's an X at the hip. And why we flash it at the hip is millennials won't see it. They're on their phone. Boomers won't see it. They lack peripheral vision to catch it. It's not moving. So I'm just kidding. Well, they didn't hear the joke. Doesn't matter. So we still have some beef. We still have some beef between us. But it has bonded us together. And why I say it's bonded us together is because millennials are taking credit for ideas and inventions that we came up with, okay? Millennials are like, check this out. We created this virtual augmented reality goggles, and you put them on your face, and they'll take you to anywhere in the world you want to go. And I'm like, no. We invented that. Thank you. I, too, can go anywhere in the world, as long as it's on one of these 2 discs. Yeah, but we have devices that'll talk to you in the home. I'm like, nope, wrong again. That was us. Thank you. Thank you very much. But it's gotten to this boiling point now where we've gotten so furious and so angry about the younger generation that we're creating content and strategies and books and talks. And here's an article I read online. It said, I'm fed up with the ceaseless carping of a handful of spoiled, self-indulgent, overgrown adolescents. This is a generation that was raised with the highest standard of living in the history of the world. We have a generation whose every need has been catered to since birth. Now when they finally face adulthood, they expect the gift-giving to continue. But the whiners want everything now. A generation raised on the principle of instant satisfaction simply can't understand the concepts of long-term planning and deferred gratification. What's their reaction when they don't get what they want? That's right, they throw a tantrum. Most people live ordinary lives of quiet desperation, stuck in uninteresting jobs they're afraid to lose. Motivational. If you want more than that, move out of your parents' houses, start working, and for heaven's sakes, stop whining. You'll want to hold that applause. You are not going to be proud you just applauded, because this is from Newsweek, October 31st, 1993. Oh, I got you. This wasn't written about millennials. This is written about us, Gen X. Hello, ladies. How you doing? Obviously, this is my audition photo for Lord of the Rings. I didn't get the part. I lost to Orlando Bloom, but still. The keeners in the audience will notice the Jostens watermark stamp on the left-hand side of the photo. My mom wouldn't pony up the $9 for the actual print. It was a set of grad photos, and we didn't think Scott was going to graduate that year, so we just let it go at the time. I understand. Millennials in the audience, I got you. I got your back. Why? Because we were the millennials 20, 25 years ago. Gen X, what was being said about us back then? Lazy, entitled, always glued to a screen. Millennials, what's being said about you? Lazy, entitled, always glued to your phone. It's just science that every generation hates the younger generation. My grandfather hated my father. My father hates me. And I hate my children. I don't hate my children. I don't. We have 5 wonderful children. I love them to death. I hate your children. You need to parent better. Seriously, though, we went back to the year 3. 1, 2, 3, to find literature and writings on younger generations. And they hated them then, too. We found an article from 100 years ago. It was a principal of a school that hated the youth that because they were advancing away from chalk and slate to use this quill, this ink on parchment paper, and that it would never go anywhere. It's just the law. That's how it works. And this is the problem. Because millennials are different than we all were when we were younger. How so? Is because they've lived through and in and as part of disruption. And disruption is simply change, but really frickin' fast. And that's what we're in. Their entire lives, especially the younger part of millennials, disruption is the norm. And it used to be, back in the day, we had time to embrace and then push away change. We had time to resist it for a decade or 10. It took 86 years for electricity to be adopted in the majority of the households in the United States. It took 62 years for the refrigerator. It took 6 years for the internet to be adopted. It took 4 years for smartphones to be adopted. It took 2 years for social media to be adopted. Do you see the problem? This is the problem. We need disruptors. We need disruptors inside our companies. Otherwise, we get disrupted from the outside. And new ideas are good. We put job ads out, and they say, must show initiative. But when they do, we tell them to shut up, to stay in their lane, to know their role. When the only way innovation happens is through insubordination. That's literally the example, the definition of innovation is insubordination. Insubordination is being insubordinate against the current idea or way of doing something. Yet we don't like it. If we don't do it within our companies, it will happen to our companies, and it is happening to all companies. And we don't think it can, that's when it happens. Uber was not created by the taxi industry. Airbnb was not created by the hotel industry. Warby Parker, one of the most successful glasses companies here, who's now opening stores that were just an online seller, were created by customers who were fed up. Our customers are so pissed off, they're becoming our competition. That's what should scare you. That's what should scare everybody or make you excited. And since we don't allow it to happen inside, it'll happen externally to us. And we have to keep an eye out for it and how it works. We have 3 types of customers: ecstatic ones, static ones, and vulnerable. Okay, ecstatic ones are the ones that just come, and they'll come all the time. You're the regular stop for them on the way to or from work. I'm not even sure this was my water. All right. Hey, where are you going? You're with them? Where are they going? You just seem to throw them all under the bus right now. They're not even turning around. Hey! Hey! Who sits up front and then has to go? Why don't you be normal and stay out with the hooligans at the back standing? They can beeline out, nobody will even know. Like that dude right there, he's going too. I'm going to keep going until there's one of you left. All right. The point is with these 3, right, ecstatic will always come and hang out. Static is the majority of your customers. They could neither love nor care about you. You just happen to be there. You happen to be convenient, if I may use the term. And vulnerable are the ones who had a poor experience and will not be coming back to your door potentially. Those are the hardest ones to keep. What is the most dangerous third of this chart? Static. Static are the ones who've come in your store and left and not felt any differently about your brand, which is the worst that can happen. To have them full body inside your location and they couldn't care less when they leave is not what we want to do. Because it's the hardest, it's the most money to spend per person, is to get them in the door the first time. Static is the F word of your business. It's fine. How was your experience with us today, sir? Fine. Nothing is fine, ever. How many of you have teenagers? Anybody? Okay, so when you ask them, how was school? What do they say? Fine. That's code for, I just bought a bag of heroin. Oh, don't leave because I said heroin, ma'am. I don't. But that's the problem. Fine is, I don't want to talk to you. Fine is, I'd rather not tell you. Fine is, I'm going to go leave a bad review, but I'm not going to tell you to your face. That's what that is. Every time somebody walks into your store, it's a pivot point on that chart. You choose where it goes. We can talk about what product you carry. We can talk about what you price it. But how I feel when I've left your store, that makes the impression. And for those of you that have more than one location, each location affects each other. And those of you who have only one, that's why it's even more important how they feel when they've walked in. But even more importantly, when they walk out. That's the experience. Because when I have a bad one, it sometimes manifests itself into a review online. This is Monica, and she left a 1-star review for an Ashley home furniture store in Texas. And she opened the review by saying, if I could give them 0 stars, I would. Which, if you're not in that business, that's not a good way to start a review. And here's the thing. The review said the store was great, the furniture was awesome, priced fairly, salesperson was awesome. And then she went home. She ordered it and went home. Guess what happened? It was the delivery. Wrong day, wrong time, wrong items. And the wrong furniture was broken, and the delivery driver was a jerk. Ta-da! You're terrible. So she went and ripped them a new one and gave them a review. When people complain online, especially online, what they're looking first and foremost for is validation. Validation they've been heard because up to this point they have not. What they're saying is, hear me. But you're saying, well, it's too late. They've already given the bad review. No, they're saying, help me. The worst type of review for your store is a bad review you do not see. The worst type of complaint is one you do not hear, because then you can't fix it. And the owner of the store has a Yelp for Business app on his phone, and it buzzes every time a review comes in. He literally feels the review. And this came in, and it buzzed, and he saw it, and he said, no, not on my watch. Unacceptable, unawesome. Nope, not going to happen. And he phoned her, and he fixed it immediately. And she went back and revised her review, which never happens, and gives it 4 stars and says, after my scathing Yelp review, I was immediately, and I mean immediately, contacted by the owner. Ben is courteous, professional, and kind. He followed up with everything he stated he was going to do very promptly. His apology felt sincere, and because of him, I don't think I'd hesitate to shop at one of the Ashley stores he owns. Would you shop here if you read this? I would. I actually believe this more than like it's a blank 5-star review. We don't expect perfection as customers. What we expect is accountability. Accountability. When I tell you something, I'm saying, help me. My favorite review was a 1-star review of Taco Santo in New York. It's the only 1-star review that would make me want to eat somewhere. And Russ says, the entire kitchen and wait staff saw an ice cream truck and ran outside, leaving me alone in the restaurant. 10 minutes later, they came back with ice cream. I still can't believe this actually happened. Why did he give him 1 star? Because they didn't bring him ice cream, frankly. You're not going to bring enough for the whole class. You don't bring anything at all. I did an undercover video years ago. I blurred out the name of the store, but I don't want to get into any legal problems. I blurred out the name. So one of the problems in branding is when our stated brand is greatly different than our actual brand. Okay, and this store, which I won't name, had on their site. I can't name the founder, obviously, because I don't want to name the company, but Sam Walton had on his website, on the Walmart website, it said the creed of Walmart. The statement was the 10-foot rule, which was if an employee came within 10 feet of you, you had to stop what you're doing, greet them, and ask if you can help them. And I thought that was funny, because the Walmart up the street from our house, like nobody says hi to me. Like the greeter doesn't say hi to me. It's your only job. Your job description says 1, greet customers, 2, see 1. So I said, oh, forget it. So I'm going to do an undercover sting operation. And I brought a camera, put it in my shopping cart, and I walked around Walmart with a counter in the top corner of the video for every associate I passed within 10 feet. And they were 0 for 17, including 2 people I went by twice, just to try. So I took the video, I sped it up 4 times speed, so I went through the store quickly, and I put it on, and it went sort of viral. I only shared it in 2 places online. It was a Walmart employee forum. Know your audience, and the WalmartSucks.com forum. So it went pretty viral. And then I read the comments. Never read the comments, by the way. Is that just a thing for life? Never read the comments. One of the comments said, well, no wonder nobody's stopping to help you. You're running through the store. I sped the video up. Forget it. Forget it. Don't try. But this is the point. I don't care about your mission statement. I don't care about your 5 keys to this. I don't care about any of those things unless you do them. They're only words otherwise, and if the words are greatly contradictory to the actual experience, it's worse. When I call my bank, I will not name them, TD. When I call them and they said, we value our customers, we're experiencing unusually high call volume, and that's the same message for 7 years now. It's no longer unusual. It's the usual high call volume that we don't want to staff. This is the problem. Policies are verbs. They're actions. Statements are verbs. It's what we do. It's how they define us, not a statement without action down the street. But I'll give you an example. On the other side of it is Lush. Anybody been to Lush before? Yes? Good. Don't clap, it's weird. So I don't shop there. Can you tell? I'm not their target market for where they go. I noticed Joe's the 5 different examples of people. The man-bun Canadian wasn't up there, so it's fine. Who looks borderline homeless sometimes. So I go to Lush. I hadn't been there before, and I did an undercover thing at a mall near us, and I decided to go on a Tuesday at 10:30 in the morning. Now, what's Tuesday at 10:30 in the morning in retail like? It's the dead zone. Plenty of time. So there's nobody in any store in this mall. So I'm figuring I'm getting the best service possible, right? Wrong. I went into 22 stores in the mall that day, and not one of them gave a damn I was there. 5 of them made me feel like I was interrupting their day. I walked in, they're like, oh, yes? Like if it wasn't for customers, their job would be so much easier. That's how I felt. Listen to me very carefully. In this world today, in this digital disruption world and the world of Amazon, if I walk into your store, frickin' doves should fly out of the ceiling. It's like, ah, you came! Thank you! What can I help you with? And instead, I was an interruption until I got to Lush. Oh, mama. You walked into this store before? I walked in, I'm like, so much lavender. And I walk around, and I walk in, and the woman behind the cash register just pops up, and she's like, hey! And I'm like, hi! She's like, first time here? I'm like, how can you tell? She's like, let me give you a tour. And she gives me a tour like it's the White House. It's 11 square feet. Do you want bath bombs? You like bath salts? You take baths? No, I don't take baths. Well, this is a bath by the pound, soap by the pound. I walked out with $79 worth of soap. Do I look like I use $79 worth of soap? That surpassed my lifetime spend on soap up to that point. I buy a bar of soap, that's a 10-year investment for me. And I got home, my wife's like, what's that? I'm like, I don't know. But I'm gonna go take a bath. Passion plus knowledge equals profit. And if you want to improve the bottom line, you improve the front line. I know, I used to be in HR, if you can believe that. I used to do hiring for retail. That was my life. And I used to put job ads out for the senior associate, I don't know what you call them, like the senior key, like Emperor Palpatine, like the high-level key person. Shout out to my Star Wars fans. And I used to put it out, and I said, requires 3 to 5 years retail experience. Do you know why I asked for 3 to 5 years? I don't know why I asked for 3 to 5 years. Except every other job ad said 3 to 5 years. I don't know the difference between 3 years retail experience and 5 years retail experience. I don't even know the difference between 1 year retail experience and 7 years retail experience, except the person with 7 years retail experience hates humans more than the person with 1 year retail experience. That's it. That's the only difference I know. But it's the hiring. You want to market better? You hire better. When I did hiring for retail, it was, could you just stand, thank you. And I put my fingers there. Yeah, there's a pulse. You're in, you're good to go. And even like this, can you work the night shift? Yeah, you're fine then, you're fine. That was it. We hired based on pulse. We hired based on filling it. It was like a volume thing versus hiring for that. I can teach policy. I'd rather have somebody of 0 experience behind a cash register, but gives a damn about my customers. I can train you on that stuff. The problem with hiring for interpersonal skills is it takes time. And that's the problem. Yeah, but with Scott, we always need to hire. Sometimes the best hiring you can do is treat your current employees well. because they're the ones that refer other workers and their friends. And if you treat them well, they find you new employees, they find the better employees, and it costs you less because they've referred them instead of you going out and putting out job ads and getting hundreds of resumes for something, okay? We've got to watch for the gaps that are out there. Because what happens with disruption is disruption loves gaps, okay? And the higher you are in your company, the harder it is to see the gaps on the ground. So you got to trust your people to tell you. Gaps are profit margin, gaps are overhead, and the biggest gap in disruption is service levels. And if your company has a big profit margin, but also high overhead and bad service, you are ripe. You are ripe for it. And one of the worlds that was ripe for it recently was the mattress business. Okay, this is ND Mattresses. They're from Canada. They are an online mattress company. I never thought I'd say that sentence in my life. They send you the mattresses in the mail. I don't know how this even works. So, how are they ripe? Well, mattresses have a high margin. Okay, especially the Tempur-Pedic ones can go from $2,000 to $6,000 for these things. They have high overhead because of the showrooms, the retail locations. Right? And they have very poor service. I'll give you an example. How do you usually buy a mattress? You walk into Al's mattress and used tire store, wherever you get your mattress, and you walk in, and it's a giant, really overly lit place with 100 mattresses down and everybody in suits to sell you a mattress, including some guy named Chad. Or it's always Chad. I don't know. Apologies to any Chad in this room, but it's Chad. And he walks up, he's like, "How you doing? Let's sell you a mattress." You're like, "Simmer down. Simmer down. Would you like to try them?" You're like, "What? What do I do now?" You lie in the mattress for 11 seconds and then decide for a purchase that will last you 10 to 20 years. And you lie down, Chad's hanging over you. "How is it? Would you like the 3M Scotch Guard add-on?" You're like, "Chad, I'm going to be honest with you right now. You're creeping me out. And I need an authentic mattress experience, so I'm going to take my pants off. And I will take that Scotch Guard." So 11 people got that joke. Okay, so. And he goes away, and you lie on it for 11 seconds, and then you buy it. And then what happens when you buy it? You don't take it home with you, do you? No, you got to set up a delivery. And they're like, "All right, our delivery window is October through May. It'll be dropped off somewhere in there. We can't give you a closer window. You need to be home when it arrives." And then you sit on your front porch for 4 months, and then you sneeze, and you turn around, and there's a piece of paper on your door saying, "Sorry, we missed you. I was here." And then if you don't like your mattress, what happens? Nothing. You're stuck with it, you moron. You should have laid longer in the store. So Andy comes along and says, "You know what, we're going to fix this." But what are their hurdles? Online mattress. So they reduce overhead, they have no stores, they reduce the cost, they make their own mattresses, Tempur-Pedic at $900 a piece. How do they overcome the problem of sending it to you, not trying it? They said 100-night sleep night guarantee. You sleep on it for 100 nights. If it's not perfect for you, return it. You can get malaria twice and still have another month on the thing. And they do a good price and everything else, and now we just got to find out if service. So we're like, "Well, I'm your Huckleberry, let's order it." So we order it for Jacob. He's our middle child. He's like our Life cereal commercial child. Like if he likes it, they'll all like it. Right, with that, yeah, Mikey, right? So the same guy. So we order it for him, and I'm just excited to see how it arrives. Like I'm thinking the postal worker would be walking down the street like, "Son of a, got get the king size 4, come on." Right? And it shows up, and it's in a box. It's like this tall, this square. And I'm like, where's the mattress? And I open it up, and it's a mattress it's like suctioned into like a nice little roll. And you take the little opener they give you, and you go, zzz, and this goes, woof. And we lose 2 kids. So And we take it, and then it rises like dough over a couple of hours, right? Jacob tries it, wakes up the next day, he loves it. Loves it. We're like, sweet. So we order 2 more for 2 more of the kids, right? We order it, and the 2 more come, except the one we got for Tess. She's our only daughter. She's 12 and runs the show. She's my princess. And she gets the mattress, and we realize it's the wrong size because we're idiots. And if you're off by an inch in a mattress, you might as well not have a mattress, right? It can't fit in the frame. So Allison writes them at 10:30 on a Thursday night and says, I'm so sorry, we're such idiots. We ordered the wrong size. And Jessica from Indy at 11 p.m. that night writes back and says, no worries, happens all the time, you're not idiots. What she wanted to say was, you idiots! We ask you while you're buying, are you sure this is the right size? And you clicked okay. And then we said, are you sure? Because it's a mattress, it's hard to ship. And you're like, yep, confirmed. And then we said, are you triple sure? Here's a PDF of a ruler, print it out and measure it just to be sure. And you're like, nah. What she said was, you're not idiots, happens all the time. We have already ordered you a replacement mattress, and it's on the way. And we have contacted a local charity to come pick up the one you've already opened because we can't take it back and sell it. She goes, they'll contact you during normal business hours, which I think was a shot at us. And us Canadians are very good at passive aggressiveness. And so what happens? Our new mattress shows up. The next week, we arrange with a local women's shelter. A van pulls up, and they come out with an iPad, and I sign it to say it's been picked up. Boom, automatically, Andy knows because of the app that it's been picked up, credits our credit card. The driver looks at me and says, thank you. Thank you for this mattress. A family will be sleeping on it tonight. And I'm like, we're such good idiots. And so I went back and ordered 24 more wrong-size mattresses because we're such good idiots. I got one more thing to show you, but before I do, please join Alice and I on the podcast. Comes out every Wednesday. We're doing it for 5 years now. It doesn't cost a penny. It's very simple. It's just me being like this, Allison being awesome. That's Allison, by the way. Hi, baby. We met on Twitter. I have the greatest social media ROI in the history of social media. So I'll be home soon. I got one more thing to show you, okay? It's my favorite tweet of all time. I've read every tweet in history. This is the best one, okay? It's going to be the reply to the tweet I show you, not the original, not the initial tweet, okay? You ready? Are you ready? Yeah. Here we go. Men's Humor tweets, this morning I gave birth to a food baby, and I think Taco Bell is the father. Let's bring Scott in as the opening keynote. There's no way he's going to make a poop joke, is he? Yeah, I am. And I did. Let's see Mike Rowe do that, dirty jobs. Let's see that happen. Challenge launched, just a heads up. How do you reply to this as Taco Bell? There's no lower form of humor than men's humor. And Taco Bell replies with the only reply possible, and they said, I want a DNA test. Thank you for having me. Enjoy the trade show.